The coolest tattoo I did was on this, I think she was about 70 years old.
70?
70. Her husband died, and she said her husband never wanted her to have a tattoo.
Hell yes.
Right. So he passed and everything, and she came into the tattoo shop. And I'm sitting there, this was like I was tattooing for like 2 or 3 months. I was sitting there watching her, and I went up and asked her if she needed help. In my mind, I'm like, what's she doing there? She's just looking at the artwork, admiring it and stuff like that. So let me go talk to her. So I went up there and I talked to her. She's like, yeah, I'm looking at getting a tattoo. And I'm like, really? She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you keep on looking through the flash work and you tell me what you want. She came back, she said, okay, I want this. She pointed at it and it said total bitch. It said total bitch, and I had the pink and the pretty colors in there. It was total bitch and the banner and stuff like that. And I'm like, you sure? And I'm like, all right, well, fill out this paperwork. She filled out the paperwork, paid the money. Next thing you know, I'm in there setting up the needle, and I got the stencil right there that says total bitch, and I'm about to tattoo on this 70-year-old woman. Start tattooing, she tell me her whole story, her whole spill, and I'm like, wow. She's like, yeah, so my husband died. You don't want me getting tattooed, so I figured I'll just get one when he dies. She did exactly that, man. She got the tattoo, and I was like, wow, that was one of the coolest tattoos.
Where'd she get it?
She got it on her arm. Oh, right there, right on her bicep, right on her muscle. She flexing with it.
Yeah, she wanted it to be seen.
Yeah, definitely. Now the weirdest tattoo, had it turned down. That's a tough one.
Or the weirdest one that you've even done, one that you was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, like, are you sure?
But I'm gonna take this money.
Boyfriend name tattoos, girlfriend name tattoos. Yeah.
Regrets.
Yeah.
It's like that commercial was like, no regrets.
No regrets. That has to be it. I tattooed a few, and some of them.
This is early doing that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be here when you want to cover it up.
Yeah, I was about to say. I know you got some cover-ups.
Yes,
That's
I have
extra
some
money for me.
cover-ups. I had this couple come in. They got a tattoo together. She got it real small on her wrist, and then he got it right across his throat. And I'm sitting there like, you really want that across your throat? Like, you realize what your girl just
He
got?
didn't see that inequality?
Yeah. I'm like, wow. So he won it. He was sure. So
Isn't that painful?
I did it. Yeah.
Man, that's
painful. Yeah. It hurts.
What would you say is the most painful area to get a tattoo?
I can only
pressing
speak.
on my Adam's apple repeatedly.
My most painful area was my knuckles, which a lot of people say they don't hurt to them, but it hurt me. And my collarbone. That was a bitch. But my client's point of view is the ribs is really sensitive. Elbow area, the inside of the arm, and a lot of it is painful, but more so it's irritating. You know what I'm saying? And when you're sitting there, you're tattooing and you're wiping, and I've been tattooed before on the inside of my arm, and I'm looking at the artist like, yo, you gotta wipe that hard. And I know the whole process of doing it, but being on the other side, laying on the table, it's like, this is what my clients go through. Well, I'm like, yeah, it's what they go through. Is you go through what you really want. But at the end of the day, you go through the pain and you get something that you wanted at the end. Versus like your girlfriend trying to stick you with a needle and then what I'm saying.
This might be a very dumb question, but I've always wondered. No, but I've always wondered because I've gotten a couple tattoos and I'm just like, how do you when they for example, when someone's just digging into your skin with a needle, it's just going in and shading all that stuff, and they wipe it off. How do they know how much ink to actually use? How do you know to do an even distribution of ink so that at the end the tattoo is all shaded the same way, things like that? It's when I'm looking at it while I'm getting tattooed, it's all looks blurry as hell. It's alright, you just wiping all the stuff across me, and then when it's done, it's oh, it's perfect. I'm looking at the side, I'm like, this bitch fucking up.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been wondering why people be looking at me while I'm tattooing. I see them with my peripherals.
You gotta make sure.
You know what you're doing. But I guess it's just everybody has their own technique. I have my own technique.
Okay.
So with me, I just dip real quick. It's just a quick dip inside of the ink cap, and I go with it. And I know what shades, variations of what I'm using. So I have it all laid out. So when I'm laying out like my black and grays that I use, I have from my extra light all the way to my extra dark, and I had it laid out in, like probably like 5 or 6 or 7 ink caps.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that's all laid out, I know which one I'm dipping into. Then I have my rinse cup, and then I rinse it out, dip into this color, dip into that color. But what other people see is a whole bunch of blacks.
That's
That's what I see. Like, if I run out of this one, I'm gonna use this one.
Yeah.
And all I see is there's a bunch of rubbish.
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
Let me see.
And I feel pain. And then back to wiping. Like, alright, you must have something I don't know.
Yep. So it's all about the person's technique,
Mm.
really. At the end of the day.
How would you say you've improved as an artist over the course of the 7 years?
How would I improve? What
How
art?
would you say you have improved from day one, like at 19 compared to now at 26?
Oh, hell yeah, I improved, man.
How so? I'm
How
sorry.
so?
Yeah. Like some key things you've learned.
Some key things I learned in improvement. Number one was patience, because when you're working with skin, it's so much more different than working on a canvas. You know what I'm saying? So when you're working with a pencil on paper and you're doing, really light shading, it's cool and you see the shade right then and there. But then when you're working with a needle and you're doing some really light shading on skin, you'll shade, but then you have, sometimes the skin will get irritated and it'll bleed a little bit. So sometimes you have to wait in order to see that light tone. So you have to wait a couple minutes. Some people will shade and they don't see it yet. It's there. They just gotta wait until the skin settles, but they'll keep shading it and shading it and shading it until they finally see it. And when they do finally see it, being that they went over it so many times, it ends up scarring the skin. So that's one thing that I'm pretty sure most artists and all artists learn through trials. And that's the best way to learn. We've all have our cases that. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's unlucky souls out there with just.
There is. There's some people that learn. Some people have the opportunity that somebody teaches them, like what to do and what not to do. And then other people, they don't have that opportunity. They have to learn through trial and error, through practicing on their friends, even messing up on some clients. And you know what I'm saying? That's a part of the game. So with me, I learned, like when I came into the tattoo industry, they pretty much told me the basics on how to set up your machines, what machines to use, what was some good inks to use. And I was grateful for that because the shop that I went to, Ink Spot, shout out to them, for giving me the opportunity. I went there and they were all using top quality things. Like they told me, don't go on eBay and get a tattoo kit. So I went in there and I'm like, yeah, I want a tattoo kit. Because from the hood, that's what we learned what it is. It's a tattoo kit, it's a tattoo gun. And they're like, no, that's not what it's called. It's a tattoo machine. It's not shaped like a gun. Don't call it a gun. It's a tattoo machine. It doesn't shoot. It doesn't do it. No. It's a tattoo machine. You're going to use this machine. So the first machine that I bought for myself was $250. But then the tattoo kits online, you get like 2 machines, some ink, some needles, and everything for like $150. But then the outcome of, you have a shitty machine, it's running loud as hell, and then it might chew up the skin even more. There's a lot of things that I learned from going about it the right way. I went to other shops wanting to learn how to tattoo before I actually got into the industry. And you know what I'm saying, it's sad to say this, but I went to my own kind. So I went to the black-owned shops. Like, yo,
It's not sad to
put
say.
me on. But what's sad is they didn't put me on.
And he's like, I
I didn't see that coming.
They didn't
I
put
had
me
faith in my brothers.
on. Nah.
too
they-
much.
They didn't put me on, and I'm pretty sure it was multiple reasons why, I came in there with my drawings or whatever, and that's probably not the reason why they didn't put me on, but a lot of times when people don't want to put you on, it's either 2 things. It's either they feel threatened by you, or they don't know what the hell they're doing, so they can't teach you nothing. But they're too proud to admit that, they'll just turn you away. So, those very same
Talk
people,
about that second one.
those very same people that turned me down are the very same people that's looking at me asking questions on how to do this and how to do that. So when I went to that shop that turned me away the first time, I ended up working there. That was my second shop I worked at. And after working there for a little bit, I came there, they knew more knowledge than me. But I soak up things quickly. I'm like a sponge. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, so you learn things very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, I soaked up everything, and I just sat back and I just observed everything that they doing. They really didn't have to tell me anything. I just needed to know, like, very simple things. It's just like, that's the piece that I was missing. All right, let me do this. Bet. I got it. So, for instance, portraits. Nobody never taught me how to do a portrait. I learned from drawing.
A portrait for the one individual in here without a tattoo. A portrait.
A portrait, a face. Like tattooing their face on somebody?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Good question, Kev. I ain't know why. Mona Lisa. Portraits.
Some look great with roll around the tree.
I'll get you eventually. Just keep talking.
See if Google a portrait or just
Like a mental note.
So it was the portrait. They didn't know how to do portraits in the shop, so it was just all for me, just knowing how to draw. And a lot of people don't know that's the first step of tattooing is knowing how to draw. If you don't know how to draw, then, for instance, when you have a stencil, like somebody put a stencil on you when you got tattooed.
Yeah.
Sometimes, with the wiping and stuff, you will lose that stencil. And if you lose that stencil and you don't know how to draw, you can't just sit there and draw back on there freehanded with the needle. So that's how sometimes the tattoos get messed up because they just know how to trace and do some shading and stuff. They don't actually know the techniques of and how important it is to know how to draw, to know how to paint, to know how to do all those important things that ties into tattooing. So when I went in there and I was doing the drawings and stuff that I like to do and I was translating them over the skin, I found that when a piece would come in and it was for another artist to do, for instance, he was like, "Yo, Jay, come over here. How do I do this?" Now, these are the very same people that turned me away. How do I do this? I'm saying like, well, you do that, you do this, you do this. And it was one day I was sitting right over his shoulder as he was tattooing the client. I'm like, yeah, you just want to shave there, just whip it out right there, and you want to do all of that. So that right there let me know that these people turned me away because they didn't know truly what they were doing. And when I was asking them simple questions like, how do you mix gray wash? And gray wash is the watered down black ink. How do you mix it? And there's always like a little secret to them. Like they didn't want to let you know. So I ended up leaving that shop, and all of a sudden when I left it, I turned into their competition. They even said it. Like, you became my competition. I'm like, what you mean I became a competition? Like, I'm nobody's competition. I'm my own competition at the end of the day. But, you know what I'm saying? If we work together, why are you going to start treating me like I'm competition to you?
Especially when you just gave them advice.
Yeah, I gave them advice, you know what I'm saying?
I said they wouldn't give you.
I'm bringing, clients to the shop, and even if I bring clients to the shop, even if they come to me because of the shop is there, they're continuously coming back to the shop to get work from me.
Yeah.
So initially, I'm helping build the brand of the shop. Like, I'm helping with that as well. So when I leave because of whatever situation, I want to grow a little bit more. I want to work around more dedicated and passionate artists. I want to work around different people. Why are you going to look at me like I'm competition now? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of messed up, especially, we brothers and we're doing the same thing. And if you have a question, I'm more than welcome to tell you, you know what I'm saying, how to go about it.
Yeah.
So I ended up leaving, and I came back to the shop, and they started treating me a little different. I left again, went to another shop, learned some more stuff, improved on my skills. Worked with them for about a month, and then I left again. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do my own thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the art.
I like that though.
I don't know, man.
I like that though. Like not just like in in our professions in general that they just feel like there's only enough room for like so many of us. Like I can't help you. Like we have to be competition. Like it shouldn't be like that.
Man, that's that house nigga shit.
Yeah.
That's straight up. You don't want to see them accomplish more than what you're doing, and that's messed up. You want to help them out at the end of the day. Like me, there's artists that come to me asking me, how do I do this or how do I do that, or even with their pricing. And I even tell them the same thing. I'm like, yo, focus on your clientele. Don't focus on what anybody else is doing. Focus on your clients. Focus on your work ethic. Focus on just focus on you, especially mentally. Especially mentally, I said, just have patience with it, man. And if you just stay dedicated to what you're doing, and you don't let like the outside interference and even like fucking girls and all, and let all that shit go. At the end of the day, if you focus on what you're doing, and you helping others with the information that you got, and you doing everything that you love and everything, man, the women will chase you and you'll have an option. Okay, never mind. You'll have options for that, and it's the same thing in life. Once you focus on what you really love, there's things that'll come to you, and you have an option to take that on or let it go, rather than you struggling and you just taking anything that comes at you.
Yep.
I'll say definitely when I first got the tattoo from Justin, I was nervous as fuck because the shit hurts. So I remember I got this little ass cloud on my arm, and I felt like the guy didn't even care. Like I was sitting there just like, and he was probably laughing at me, and my girl was there like, are you serious? But
that's your first tap?
This one, yeah, the cloud one.
Gotcha.
So I was just scared, and I didn't like the guy. I didn't feel connected with him. Like I didn't build a relationship with him. So when I got my first tattoo with Justin, I was super scared. Like I was sitting there, my hair was like all over the place, my palms were sweaty. Like my girl was talking to me, but at some point, like I didn't even want to hear her voice. And then, no, but it's a process too, cause she got her tattoo done too. So I was just tired, and I think it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah, that was late.
He was there for a minute, and one thing I didn't realize, which is why I probably wouldn't go to any other tattoo artist, is so when he does the tattoo and he's doing it on the skin, it's sort of like I always tell people this: you allow us to breathe in, and then you do it when we breathe out. So he'll stop when we're breathing in, and then he'll start again when we breathe out, and it allows you to build that breathing pattern. So it's like when you're running or you're bike riding or you're doing any type of strenuous activity, when you're having a steady breathing pace, it allows you to be better. Like your adrenaline might not be up, so it was a lot more calmer than I thought it was. And I feel like as much as patience, also too learning your customer. Like I feel like you learn your customers very well to the point where you allow them to be like, all right, it doesn't hurt as bad. And it's not what you thought it would be, in a way. And one of the things too, like I'm glad he came, was his. We started talking about the 48 laws of power and reading and motivation. So he talks to you while you're getting the tattoo done. So it's like you don't even realize you're there for 6 hours sometimes, or 4 hours. I think we was watching like a Tyler Perry show. And we were just laughing watching it, and I'm like, I didn't even think this shit was that funny. Like, so that's something like I always tell people: if you go to get a tattoo, make sure like the person actually cares. And I always tell them to go to you anyway, because out there I feel like they want that quick buck. While you actually go to his house, he talks to you, he sits you down, and y'all have a conversation. So
how do you find it?
Through this guy I knew. I think his name was Josh. I just found him.
No.
Josh. I met Josh, and I had my first tattoo, and I wanted another one, but my mom was not having it. So Josh and my other boy, we both wanted these tattoos done. I never thought I would be getting tattoos, but then I just went, and then when we got there, it's surreal to this moment. Like I always imagine myself going and then leaving. Like, I'll come back later, but when you give someone your deposit,